Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Merry stupid o'clock. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we get going, the usual disclaimers. First off, in the description box, you are going to see the link to the article the JRC doesn't want you to read. It was written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, in which they interviewed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the quote-unquote behavioral treatment program at the JRC. In fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they do not remove it from their website. NeuroClastic has refused. So, folks, you know what to do. Share that link on all your social media. You'll also see in the description box NeuroClastic's public statement on the matter. And also, you are going to find down at the bottom of the description box their GoFundMe just in case the JRC decides to see through with their threat. We are working on crowdfunding them, all right? Also, in the description box, you're going to find the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autisticalia's massive archive on the subject, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. Folks, when we discuss the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones, all right? Also, it is 4:18 a.m. in the morning. I'm not fucking remotely awake, and the only reason why I'm getting any of this correct right now is I'm running on complete and utter autopilot. So, if I stumble over my words this morning, apologies in advance, alright? Okay, so let's pick up to where we left off yesterday. Eight students receiving Level 3 adverse interventions had IEPs that indicated that the JRC would be seeking court authorization to use of Level 3 adverse intervention, with no indication on the IEP that the JRC obtained the court authorization. I do remember that here. When the student's behaviors are dangerous and or out of control, interfering with education and resistant to all other forms of treatment, then the IET team will put adverses on the IEP, and the JRC will be instructed to seek court approval. So now we're going to pass the buck. We're going to say, it's the IEP's team's fault. Who makes up that IEP team? You, JRC. You decide. You make the decisions. You rip the power out of the hands of the families if they don't agree with you and have them put within quote-unquote so-called impartial court-appointed guardian in order to get what you want. And I love when they say all other forms of treatment when they haven't tried all other forms of treatment. They tell you that they have. But if you read above a little bit when they were talking about positive behavioral supports, they don't have the first fucking clue about any other types of interventions but their own. That's it, and that's all. I will never ever fucking agree with them saying we tried all the other stuff when they have noted repeatedly that they don't even know the most basic aspects of any of the other options in regards to treatment. It's bullshit and it's bad for you, folks. Just saying. And they always say, but, court approval. Fuck me. All students, however, are tried on JRC's non-adversive intensive behavior modification treatment program upon admission to see if JRC's brand of very consistent, intensive, 24-hour version of positive-only behavior modifications treatment will be effective without the need of adding a version upon court approval. But let me rewind that for you folks. Remember when they said they had no idea whether something was a part of positive behavioral support? I'm sorry, JRC. I don't believe you. When you can't figure out one of the most basic principles of positive behavioral support, which is the concept of not focusing on the negative behaviors as much as praising the positive behaviors, when you can't get such a simple concept in regards to just one of the many other options out there, you have to believe that I don't believe you when you say you've actually tried it. But it's intensive and it's complete. But we don't understand how it works, but what we tried it. Do you have anyone trained in positive behavioral reinforcement at your center, JRC? Tell me, is there an expert at the JRC for positive behavioral reinforcement? The answer is no, folks. There's not. They're just fucking winging it. What they have in place is not positive behavioral reinforcement. It's a fucking token system. What they have in place is fucking Pavlov's dog training, okay? It's the most condescending and stupid shit in the world. Moving on. In many of these cases, the student's behavior do show significant improvement simply by being exposed to JRC's very consistent positive-only procedures, and in those cases, it's not necessary to seek court authorization for level 3 procedures. This is what they're talking about, folks. I'll let you in here on a little secret. But if you just pretend to be neurotypical all the time and you never have any slip-ups to ever show us that you're actually autistic, then you don't get put on the torture devices. But if you let that mask slip for 5 seconds, they're at the judge's fucking door. Now aren't you? Moving on. The student successfully treated with less intrusive treatment, which is an outcome that all parties to the IEP are pleased with. This process meets all the requirements of the IDEA. It doesn't. It really doesn't, JRC. The fact that you don't understand the rights guaranteed to the student under IDEA, including the concept of autonomy, which seems to completely go over your fucking head. Like, seriously. Seriously? Really? Because if their state had an advocate to go in there to be on the student's side, as mine did, who actually has a disability, I guarantee you I would be screaming bloody fucking murder. I would demand that all students be removed immediately and the JRC be closed down pending further investigation. I'm just putting it out there as it is. And that's just based on their positive token program. That's not getting into the torture. It doesn't fucking work, folks. It doesn't fucking work. Not in any real sense, not out in the fucking real world, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. ABA, even the quote-unquote lighter, gentler ABA, is made off of this concept that we have to behave, act, be exactly like normal. Remember that we've gone over this before, this romanticized idea they seem to have of normal that doesn't exist out anywhere in the real world amongst our neurotypical peers, but we had better reach it. You know what I mean? Things like cursing, acting out, shit that's a part of being an ordinary teenager. ABA tells us that we can't be that way. That's not normal. They hold kids under ABA to a standard that they don't hold their neurotypical peers to. So not only are they trying to force you to mask 24/7, to not accept yourself as you are, as you were born, but force you to pretend to be yourself every single moment of every single fucking day. On top of that shit, you are actually supposed to be, I guess, more normal than your neurotypical fucking peers of the same age group. We are actually held to a standard that our peers are not. It's bullshit, and it fails every time. And that's just on the face of it. Let's not even discuss the fact that you cannot change neurology with behavioral psychology. This is the concept that seems to elude these people in ABA. This idea that you cannot change my neurology with behavioral psychology. But it teaches better behaviors. It teaches me to hate myself, Karen. That's what it teaches. It teaches that everything about me that is autistic is wrong and horrible and should be shunned. And if I dare act out in a manner that is anything other than neurotypical, that I should hate myself or punish myself for it. That's what fucking ABA teaches. That you must pretend to be somebody else other than what you are and go against your own fucking neurology at no matter what the cost to yourself psychologically or even physically. As we all know, psychological things can manifest out physical issues. That's ABA. And that's why it will never be successful. You want to know why there's such a high suicide rate amongst autistics? Yeah. ABA causes severe psychological trauma down the line, especially the earlier the interventions start. There are other therapies that are a necessity. Yes, absolutely. But this concept of behavior modification for something that is hardwired into your brain, the repercussions are horrific, folks, without going to the extremes of the JRC. And on that, I'm going to go ahead and close out this morning. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject, and the few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning. As always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, everyone. Wish me luck. It's going to be days of hell until freaking July the 4th. And my God, am I taking a fucking vacation the first fucking chance I get. Bye-bye, everyone.